Hi everybody, my name is Feras Jalal and my matric number is 258312, and today I'm going to be presenting about a stimulant, and the purpose of this presentation is to inform all of you about the power of GAT in the country of Yemen. Drug. When I mention the word drug, you all will be thinking about something that is really bad. But have you ever tried doing drugs before? Well, I have. I have tried doing drugs before. In fact, most of the Yemeni citizens are either doing drugs or have at least tried them. The kind of drug that I'm talking about is beneficial and harmful, legal and illegal at the same time. If somebody sees me having GAT right now, I will definitely be caught. But one day, back in my country, I was sitting with a bunch of friends, and someone saw me not having this kind of drug. He simply offered me some, and I had to take it. Because if somebody gives you this kind of drug as a gift, it is certainly rude to refuse. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm using these pieces of information just to let you know the power of GAT. GAT is a plant, just like ganja, but it's grown all over Yemen. It's called cat, as it also can be called GAT. GAT is a green leaf that contains drug according to the World Health Organization, the WHO, and a stimulant according to the Yemeni people. GAT can only be found in Yemen, Ethiopia, Kenya, and some other African countries. But today, I'm going to highlight on how important GAT is, the pros and cons, and the types of GAT in the country of Yemen. Firstly, most of the Yemeni citizens utilize GAT almost every day, which shows how valuable it is for the Yemeni people. Every single day, around 1 p.m., the entire nation stops everything they are working on and go to the GAT market to buy their supplies. So let me take you back to 2008 when I was only 8 years old. I tried GAT for the first time. My parents were traveling out of the country for work, so I stayed at my cousin's house. 1 p.m. clocked. It's GAT time. So my elder cousins were going to the GAT market to buy some. So I asked them, "Can you buy me some so I can try it for the first time in my life?" They did buy me, and I did try it. But guess what? I felt nothing. But my cousins did. Then I realized that I was swallowing it, but my cousins were chewing it. Then I figured out that the only way to utilize GAT is through chewing. GAT is the most valuable thing in Yemen. Everybody works for it. Everybody cares about it. Because 90% of the Yemeni population needs it. In fact, they can't live without it. If the president himself doesn't chew GAT on a certain day, then get ready, because the entire nation is about to be screwed up. What is funnier is that if you're driving and you get pulled over by the police for no reason, you only have two options to move on without any ticket. Either to bribe him with GAT or money to go and buy GAT. When these two important men can't work without GAT, the Yemeni lawmakers had to chew GAT to concentrate on whether to legalize it or not. Eventually, they made it legal, whereas it's illegal in so many other countries. considering it a drug but not a stimulant. So now we have a clear understanding about how addicted the Yemeni people are for GAT, but that's for a reason. As everybody know that anything that is being used has its positives and negatives on its users, and so is GAT. The World Health Organization, the WHO, has classified GAT as a drug. This is the world's view, which is completely true and can't be denied. Yes, it wastes time since the Yemeni people will be chewing it for approximately 6 hours a day. Also, if you see somebody who's working really hard and taking his job seriously, not because he has a family, but because he's trying so hard to pay his debts to the GAT supplier. It wastes money since it's one of the essentials that can be thought about even before food for many Yemenis, and that's sad. As it also changes the people's behaviors and moods depending on the type. But the people wouldn't look at the good side. Al-Mujahideen reports to the Bulletin of the World Health Organization that being addicted to GAT is not a serious problem. And because of that, most of the Yemenis, or the Yemeni's point of view, is that GAT is just a stimulant that increases the level of excitement, makes you talkative, and it increases the level of concentration and keeps you focused, and that's a fact. For many Yemenis, GAT is being treated just like coffee. Many people can't concentrate if they don't drink coffee. And I've known many people that can't focus on their studies if they don't chew GAT. So after we knew the ups and downs of GAT, we can move on to know more about the types of GAT. GAT has a lot of sorts with different prices depending on the geographical areas where they were grown. Some areas plant really good types of GAT, while other areas plant GAT for the low-income people. Different sorts, different prices, different tastes, and makes you have different moods. There are types that make you so active, and these types are being chewed by the manpower. There are other types that would make you have a sense of humor and give jokes. Also, there are other types that would make you have a good mood and say yes to everything. And this type, my family and I call the yes type. My father chews GAT only in weekends. Luckily, he chews the yes type. So, if I have anything to ask or anything that needs my father's permission, I would be counting the days for the weekends. What is more is that almost all types of GAT makes the chewer feel calm and have patience. This is the most concrete reason of why GAT is being chewed by the Yemeni people, especially nowadays. Well, about 6 years ago, my friend Khalid was refusing to even try chewing GAT, and he was calling it the sheep's food. Well, a year later, the war broke out in Yemen. He could not resist, and he had to have some patience. He started chewing GAT. It's been 5 years since the war broke out in Yemen. The people are dying, but still patient. All I have stated all I said have stated how powerful GATT is back in my country, Yemen. So to sum up, GATT has a lot of sorts with different prices, as it also has a lot of negatives. But after I said, I'm certain that everyone knows that it has positives as well. GATT is a drug in many countries, but not in Yemen. Illegal in many countries, but not in Yemen. And this is because of the different views resulting from experiment. I'm not saying that Yemen is committing something wrong because they legalize it, but they tried it and legalize it because they knew good facts about it. I have known many people who were underestimating GATT and ended up chewing it. Thank you.